Hello, time travelers, and welcome new time travelers. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications if you enjoy learning about history, one event at a time, not only from the US, but also from around the world. Today, we're going to start out in 331 BCE, when Alexander the Great of Macedonia defeated Darius III of Persia at the Battle of Gaugamela, spelling the end of the Persian Empire. Moving on to 1553, with her coronation, Mary I became the first queen to rule England in her own right. She was later nicknamed Bloody Mary because of her persecution of Protestants in the vain attempt to restore Roman Catholicism to the country. In 1800, Napoleon induced a reluctant King Charles IV of Spain to secede Louisiana back to France. 90 years later, in 1890, by the act of the U.S. Congress, Yosemite National Park was created, eventually becoming one of the most heavily visited national parks in the country. In 1932, during Game 3 of the World Series, New York Yankee Babe Ruth made his famous call shot when he pointed to center field bleachers in Wrigley Field and then hit a home run to that spot. The Yankees defeated the Chicago Cubs and went on to win the championship. 4 years later, in 1936, Francisco became head of the nationalist regime of Spain in the beginning of the Spanish Civil War. Now, in Beijing, with the most of the Chinese mainland held by Communist People's Libertarian Army, its dynamic leader, Mao Zedong, proclaimed the establishment of the People's Republic of China on this day in 1949. In 1960, Nigeria gained its independence from Britain, but remained a member of the Commonwealth. The following year, in 1961, American baseball player Roger Maris hit his 61st home run of the season, breaking Babe Ruth's record. Again, the following year, in 1962, Johnny Carson began hosting The Tonight Show, and he became the king of late-night television, credited with creating the standard format for talk shows, or TV talk shows, 9 years later, in 1971, the Walt Disney World Resort, a complex near Orlando, Florida, that features attractions based on the stories and characters created by the Disney Company, opened. 4 years later, in 1975, in what was regarded by many as the greatest prize fight of all time, the Thrilla in Manila, Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier after the latter's corner called a halt to the bout of 14 brutal rounds. In 1982, Congress established the U.S. Claims Court, now the U.S. Court of Federal Claims, to handle cases in which the U.S. is a defendant. 6 years before the turn of the century, in 1994, the Republic of Palau officially became a sovereign state. 2013 is when American novelist Tom Clancy, who created the techno-thriller, a suspenseful novel that relies on extensive knowledge of military technology and espionage, died at the age of 66. Now, if you thought that the Orlando shooting of 2016, where a mass shooting took place at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida, in the early mornings of June 12, 2016, and left 49 people dead and more than 50 wounded, which was the deadliest mass shooting of U.S. history up to that time, was bad, then our next and final stop of 2017 can easily top that one. Now, from his hotel room in Las Vegas, a 64-year-old gunman, Stephen Paddock, opened fire on a music festival, killing 58 and wounding hundreds before taking his own life, which, like I said, surpassed the Orlando shooting of 2016 as the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Now, let's move on from that gruesome thought as we head back to 2024 and our current history, and head over to the animal kingdom for our 50th animal fact. The Alpine Swift is able to stay airborne for over 6 months without touching down. It holds the world record for the longest recorded uninterrupted flight by a bird at over 200 days in the air as it hunted flying insects on its wintering range in the skies over West Africa. Now let's head into the science lab for our 50th science fact, where most ginger cats are male. There are roughly 3 ginger cats to 1 ginger female. This is because the ginger gene is found on the X chromosome, meaning female cats would require 2 copies of the gene to be a complete ginger, whilst males only need 1. And if you enjoy learning about history, not only from the US, but also from around the world, then don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Until next time.